So today I'm going to show you how I do some succulent propagation, and basically that just means I'm going to be creating some more succulents using some cuttings from an existing plant. So when you do that, basically all you're doing is you're taking these little leaf cuttings and you're going to sit them into a shallow dish and you're going to allow them to callus over. This process is really simple and it's actually quite fun because you're able to create a whole new garden of succulents. When you place them into the tray, they will begin to callus over. Like I said before, that just means the tips are getting hard. Now keep in mind, not all of them are going to make it. This little guy right here, he's not going to make it. Look how shriveled up he already looks. So that's okay. Don't get discouraged when you see that happening. Just understand that they all don't make it. Once they've set into this tray or into a chair, you want to make sure that you keep them in a bright place, not direct sunlight, and you want it to be warm and dry. Okay, this little guy here, this tray has been sitting for about 2 weeks. I mean, it's already starting to develop some roots. They do not need to sit that long. They only need to sit for about 2 to 3 days, and that's really all the time that it will need in order to callus over. You can get leaf cuttings by just wiggling them off from the mother plant, snipping them off, or sometimes they just fall off on their very own. Once the ends and tips have calloused over, you're going to sit them into a shallow dish with some coarse soil. What I've used here is just some cactus succulent mix. You want to make sure that the soil is well draining. As they sit here, they will develop roots, and I'm showing you that here. If you can see it, I'm sorry if the camera's a little off. But they start to develop their own little root system, which is really neat. This little guy right here, he's doing really well. Look at those pink roots. So I can actually probably bury him a little bit more underneath the soil. You want to make sure that you keep this moist. You do not want it to be wet. You don't want it to be sitting in wet water, but you do want to keep it moist. And so what I do is I have a little spray bottle and I just spray it with water, usually in the morning, which allows it to dry out throughout the day. So it's real important here that the root system's established. As the roots begin to develop, they will start to produce their own little babies. So if you look here, this is a full tray of little baby succulents. Isn't that cool? I think it's so much fun and so neat to see that. So it's really neat there. I'm just showing you what you do. So basically you are going to want to keep these watered, usually about once a week. You want to just make sure that you're watering them. Well, I would even say more than that. Just make sure that the soil is not too dry. You want the roots to really get established. Eventually what will happen though is as they continue to grow, the parent leaf will begin to wither up. You can either cut that little piece off or you can just go ahead and bury it into the soil. So here is, I'm just showing you a little up close. You can see that all these here have little bitty babies on them, which is super, super cool. And this one over here, this little right here, it was like a clipping. So I put it in the soil to see how it's going to do. And then eventually I will go ahead and put that in its own little pot. So as you can see, the process is really quick. So step 1, you're just going to remove the clippings or the cuttings and put them in a shallow dish. Step 2, you're going to add a soil mixture and make sure they stay moistened until the roots develop. And then step 3, you just sit back and watch your little babies work. And then eventually you'll have a complete succulent garden. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please remember to like and comment. And that's it. Happy gardening. Okay, be sure to check me out on my other social medias, and then be sure to check out my last video. I show you my house plant tour.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video.
Have a nice day.